Hello? Oh dear, what happened now? Oh, wait, I have to turn this off. Okay. I'm audible, yes, am I? Excellent. So I can do a very cool fade, right? How does this work again? Oh, here we go. Wait. I'm thinking very hard. Hello, everyone. Big Mark. It's Big Mark on the big screen. Relatively big. It's still only like this, isn't it? And here my hand disappears. Like magic. Like a professional. Just fade it in. Just fade it in as if, like like a ghost. Just appearing out of nowhere, out of thin air, really. Because that's how things work. And I've hold on. The chat is just like really small on my screen for now. So I can't see all that much of it because I still have this other app here. And then when I go to the next one, then I'll see more of it. But hello everyone. Hello and welcome to my stream. Thanks very much for coming. Thanks very much. Is that what I said? Thanks very much everyone for coming. See, that's what happens when actors do not have a script. They just say random stuff that doesn't even make a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm really excited to continue our great Ace Attorney journey and see what next happens. Cheers to my non-alcoholic cordial that is just keeping me hydrated in my beautiful mug. Yeah, I would say I'm gonna make myself small because that's the magic that this thing has to offer, right? And also I'm big-headed enough. I don't need to have too much of a big head here, do I? So anyway, I'm gonna just do that. Hold on. Hello, I'm small now. Small Mark. And then, now that I've done this, I can make the chat nice and big. So I don't need to worry about that anymore. Small Mark, tiny Mark, just tiny little Mark, just tiny on the little corner here. Just tiny little Mark. Gonna remove this and change so I can still see what's going on here. Super professional, without any issues or whatever, just playing around on my laptop, knowing exactly what I'm doing, right? How's our volume? Can we hear me well? And is the music not too loud? I think I've kind of set it up a little bit closer to how it was. Volume is good. That's good. I'm excited. Great. I'm glad to hear it. So let's continue our journey. If I hit continue, is it gonna continue where we did last time, or is it gonna? Yes, from this last saved data. Great. It should. Very good. And let's this. Oh, gosh. We've got Korekuta-san here. And he's just very silent. Just look at me. Look how he looks at you and just stares at you. Well, may the ballooning begin. Yes, the ballooning. Oh, the ballooning. I still don't know how I did it, but I didn't turn anything off. And if it happens, it'll just happen, and then we'll deal with it, And who's got a problem with balloons anyway? Balloons are great, right? Anyway, Korekuta. Oh. What? What did you just say, Korekuta-san? No. You were just following orders? No, hold on, lad. I wasn't... Say, you never saw the gentlewoman? Grrr! When you say gentlewoman, do you mean... You saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
First time chat. You found the ocarina? Did you? I love an ocarina. What? Wait, what did he sound like again? What? What is the meaning of all of this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Is that what he said? The tongue? Slip of the tongue. Jump scare. Order! Order! Council, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Unbelievable. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Liars. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouths shut? That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't... Oh, God. I saw Ouchie. I went to Ouchie's voice. That is terrible. I don't believe Ouchie had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? Oh, someone's saying hi to Kazuma. Hi, Katie. If we can affirm to... moment. My attention is split between different texts, so I shall concentrate on this for now. If we can affirm who tried to silence the witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course. We'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence that we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. Kazuma is really helping us, isn't he? If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you, the penalty will be severe. Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency, no time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout the first name that comes into my head. Oh, what name is that? Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... Well, it's gotta be our police officer, isn't it? Because he works for the police. Wait, present.
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier. Objection! Poppycock! What a lovely Japanese word, isn't it? Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? So Japanese, isn't it? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If that is, the man truly were a waiter. I sense something. A disturbance in the force. Oh, wait, no. Different game. What? If he truly were... Ha! Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity as proven by this evidence. Waiter's business card. Here we go. Oh, wait. Present.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. Oh wait, why did I sound like that was Ryunosuke? My brain got confused there. I beg your pardon. Or perhaps I should have said that was really grown-up Ryunosuke, wasn't it? Perhaps should I have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession, but that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. The back of the back. The back of the back of... You can keep turning and it becomes the back again, isn't it? It's all very confusing. What? The waiter, the police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? Bad prosecutor, maybe. The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. Foolish fools. Foolish indeed. So, witness there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Huh? Well... What? Who's interrupting? Inspector... Oh no, that's Ryunosuke saying it. Inspector Hosonaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record evidence as well. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say you really are a detective? Why is he dying, though? Or at least spitting blood. But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course. Oh gosh, that skipped, didn't it? I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter. working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant. What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point for the record. For the court, even. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. Someone was shot. As soon as I had... Oh, that's just a repeat. It's not in the court that somebody was suddenly shot, right? That would be something. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an English woman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say? Remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. Oi, guys, keep it clean here, okay? This is all just for with the innuendo, okay? This is just there's nothing happening here, right? It's all very clean. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I do not hate gay people. Now calm down. There's all this soap stuff and everything. Nothing's happening. This is just a court case. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an English woman as the primary suspect. Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. All right. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. Oh gosh. Everyone's speechless. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young English woman. What? Ooh, Kazuma knows everyone, doesn't he? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you are the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean... When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. God, am I saying this wrong? Is that French? English? Giselle Brett? Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student, studying in the research laboratory of Umeå University's medical faculty. Giselle. She is indeed a foreign... Oh, I just said that. What? I live in Britain. I've never heard that name here. That's French. That's definitely French. I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene. And ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in the testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. She's Breton, from Brittany? French Brittany? Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. Exactly. A type of bullet. Oh. Very, very good. Thanks for the information, very weird creature. I didn't know that. But Your Excellency! That would mean missing the known deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir? You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you go against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. Well, that's just what's going to have to happen, isn't it? It is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem. I'm dying. Nothing will get in my way. That's like this kind of dedication. That's like... almost sounds like Dunosuke, doesn't it? Nothing will get in my way. Court will be adjourned briefly. Prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Very apologetic. Your Excellency. Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Whew. Gosh. We got out of a pickle here, didn't we? It was... Ooh. Oh, my green screen is a little funky on this side. Is it? Where is it? Up here. Save. Of course we will save our current progress. Yes, we can overwrite that. Okay. We're at part 2. Gosh, so many first-time chats that I keep seeing out of the corner of my eye. I'm sorry I can't keep up with all the chat. There's so much text on here. But welcome all, new people and old people and everyone people. Everyone's welcome. Yeah, so nice to have you all here. Forgetting the first case. Yeah, the first case is a little bit longer, isn't it? But it's fine. I have done it before. It's like 3 years ago, I think, or something. So I'm thinking, I'll plow through this. I will know all the stuff. It'll come back to me. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. It was, wasn't it? My heart was in my mouth the entire time. I don't even know what that means. That. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there, you were drenched in sweat. Your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I don't know what he was talking about there. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it. It's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom ever again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. It was just on the way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down and picked it up... Wait. After? I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective. He apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Sorry, I just spotted some nif tricks. You clever one. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Oop, someone appears. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. I don't remember if this was his voice, but let's just go with it. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. He sounds so friendly. He looks so friendly. He's friendly. Yes, it seems you planned from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so, which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life. I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA, and it was I who invited him. That is so sad. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. We have a thumbs down. It's okay. People don't like all the same. Of course. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama.
Defendant Naruhodo, court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once.
It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Before these old fools know what's hit them. We'll slice them with our samurai sword. Kazuma. What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. How does he keep his thing like flowing like this? I kind of want a headband like that just kind of keeps flowing like that. Wouldn't that be fun? If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. But also, you know, he's going to go to Britain and then Yunosuke would be alone, right? We don't want that. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. Yeah, a fan. Oh my god, maybe I should do that. But if I put a fan up here, then like it'll be a bit loud for the microphone probably. Maybe I'll do like a silent scene of it at some point, something just with some flowing headbands. I'll save the thing. Okay, we just did that. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria. I love sukiyaki so much. Sukiyaki is delicious. With an extra large portion, of course. November 22nd, 1209. We're back in the courtroom. Food. I mean, who doesn't love food? We all need to eat food. The court hereby resumes the trial of Yunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. It's not his fault. He shouldn't apologize. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. Exactly. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forge with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? I think he means flounders, doesn't he? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations really is so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. I agree. You really have nothing to worry about, Dianoska. What do you mean? A secret trial. Anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan? Or England? Shut up! Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing! Nothing of the situation of our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. But at what cost, huh? At what cost? I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Wow. The Force says, well said, Dianoska, despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats!
Thank you, Council. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume, with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Gisely Brett.
Gisely? Yes. Ouch, my forehead. Your Excellency.
Look at that hat. I mean, that is a hat and a half, isn't it?
Am I saying Gisely wrong? Gisely? I'm so embarrassed. Am I saying it all wrong? And it's Giselle? Is it Giselle? I'll keep it with that now. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Giselle? Giselle, is that better?
Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea!
I actually prefer coffee, just for future reference. Is that true? No idea. So, G1 Starscream. I don't even know what G1 Starscream is. But if it's a good way, then I appreciate it. Could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court?
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival.
Yes, we know about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first.
Is that true?
No idea.
More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I did. I think I did I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Dianoska, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Oh, he looks so disappointed. Guilty. I don't want to disappoint him. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. How was that? No one gets it. Maybe I should have spoken German. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but That's good, is it? Blah blah blah. The lady says her name is Giselle Bread. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty. No, I'm gonna actually just look up how to say Giselle Bread. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna just look up how to say this. Because I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself. Giselle pronunciation. Even though it's fun to get things wrong. How to say Giselle Bread. How to pronounce God, I can't even get a proper one. Is this it? Oh, now we have a fucking YouTube. Oh, excuse me. Now we have a YouTube ad. We don't need a YouTube ad. Skip. Is that it?
Giselle.
That's not it. It's not Giselle, is it? It's not Giselle. Giselle. I think I'm gonna go. It's like Giselle, but it's like written differently, is it? Giselle. I'm gonna go with Giselle. Giselle. Let's go with Giselle. That's where we are now. Okay. Visiting research student. Okay, she's a visiting research student, currently enrolled at UMA University's medical faculty. Jim Jams is good. Jim Jams. Maybe we shall do that. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. Oh, thank you. He's complimenting my jibber jabber. I feel very honored. As far as I can tell, I think Ouchie likes me, secretly. The defective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? No, you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Dionosuke. Why don't the two of them go together to England? Wouldn't that be fun? As platonic friends, right? The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we make trouble you to confirm... No, you're okay. Don't go crazy now. Wouldn't that be fun? Platonic besties in England, right? Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. Do you know what Brett is in German, actually? Brett means just a plank. Brett is a plank. Huh? Anyway, like when you jump, what is it? When you go swimming, you jump off a... What is that called again in English? Or like a surfboard. That's a surfbrett in German. There we go. Anyway,
3 days ago at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place.
Yes, diving board. That's the one. Thank you. What is it in German? Springbrett. Sprungbrett? Springbrett, I think. Sprungbrett. I don't even speak German that well anymore. It's really embarrassing.
The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct?
Jim Jams. She says, yes. See, that's this could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. Jim Jams. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. And you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Jim Jam. Do Pokemons always say their own name after? Oh yeah, Pikachu! Jim Jams. I like that. Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Jim Jams? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight.
Do you mean to say?
Yeah, this is a very good point, Strops Arts. Like, leaving the scene of the crime because I have a presentation, I have a PowerPoint. That is just crazy. Imagine, that would not fly. That is some, British empire privilege there in, whenever this was 200 years ago, I think. Imagine that. Yes, it would appear the lady did witness a crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Screw the rules. I'm British. Yeah, that's. This happened too often in history, hasn't it? Oh dear. But not anymore. Maybe still. I don't know. Anyway, different subject. Back to here. Order in court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Huh?
Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described.
Blue, blah blah, Hosonaga. In that particular language they're speaking, you always have to say the name at the end. That's just how it works. A frightening and sorrowful sight. Blue blah blah blue blah 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 blue. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. Blue blah blue, Jim Jams. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused teacher... I don't know the teacher sounds from Charlie Brown. I'll look it up. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Blah 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 blah, Jim Jams. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Womp womp. Oh, that one? What? No. Yes. Many womp womp? Womp womp. Yes, no, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Objection! Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard, and look at this snow-white angel. That wouldn't fly nowadays, would it? I'm sure even dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. It's some pretty privilege for sure, right? You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you goad it like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Can't argue with that, can you? And you bang him? Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the Bureau.
It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go.
The testimonies of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however.
Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there's nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm.
I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. I mean, unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot.
Wow, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's not very hard, is it? Jeez. The swan, the hair, the skirt.
We don't not seeing anything here, right?
There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. That is ridiculous. If only I was allowed to live. Oh, Jesus. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just not gonna say that. Because this is just out of context, not good.
He's only thinking it, so we don't need to hear that out loud, do we?
Don't think about doing anything rash, dear Noska. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart.
Testimony. I mean, to be fair, dude just wants to, not go to prison for murder. So, I can understand his instinct, right? He just, but it's his thoughts, right? So,
the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency. It's our turn. Now we can save things. Cross-examination. Frightening and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson. Let's just listen through all of it, and then we see if we know which one to press on. Arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. Okay, that checks out. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Well, that is just a lie. That is just an outright lie. I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all... I mean, he wasn't wrong though, I guess. We must all speak English. Terrible. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever. Only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. The part ties in with what you said. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Okay, so we've pressed on that. Then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and, well, that is... We've got to press on that. Yes! That is just not true. Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating this assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Okay, fine. Well, when the shot rang out there and you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but... all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor I was leaving at the restaurant. Just that is the main lesson of this, right? Don't pick up guns. Do not pick up guns. Just run away and call the police. Run as far as you can. Anyway, this is my PSA over. Thank you very much. In fact, yes. There was someone much closer to the victim than me at that time. That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Lawyers love picking up guns in these games. Ah, damn silly lawyers. Dirty? Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. Nonsense! The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. I don't carry a gun by myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. I couldn't have been... Okay, fine, maybe she doesn't carry a gun. So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Still, the statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. And those people never lie, right? In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for that flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you, with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Flapping red ribbon? Flapping. Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. We shall do that. We shall press her. Do that and an opening will present itself. I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that is hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Let's expose Jim Jams. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so ordered for myself only a beefsteak. Wait, late luncheon. Oh, we can't go back, can we? Press. Yes! Let's just press. He was unable to eat, you say? That was because he had just recovered a tooth removed at Elm Cradling. Okay, that's right. You're supposed to actually check with a witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so. Yes, she'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? But why is it... Hold on. That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was. But the steak is right... Exactly as it was... See, somebody moved the steak. Jeff traveling... And being brought in such a tragic accident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear we'll crush the evil fiend. Shut up. Ouchie. So the victim, Doctor, was there nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Just water. Yes. Professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Dionosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. Yes, because I only saw one glass on the table. Didn't we? Has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Do tell us what this profound bearing is, The signal in this time will become apparent when the time is right to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Very well. Miss Brett, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to the official testimony. Gladly. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Dionosuke. So, can I then present... See? This. Yeah, I'll present this. This is a lie. Present. She's lying. She's lying! There's only one glass on the table. That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Ha! Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. Look at it. It's clear. Clear as mud. That is correct. Well, that is... It's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Yunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. See? See? I mean, you do have to point out the obvious, right? For the whole courtroom.
You're quite right, counsel. There's only one glass pictured here.
Objection! Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? Isn't that what this is all about? Minutiae? What possible difference does the presence of absence of a glass of make on the case? Am I even saying that word? Minutiae? Minutiae? You say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table, clearly. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? Huh? Hosonaga? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Oh. Did she eat it? Maybe she ate the glass. Maybe she's a Jim Jams.
Inspector, what did the lady say?
Solo clinking your head. You could do that too. Ding. It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. Why would she do that? What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying.
Good gracious.
That is suspicious. Yeah, very suspicious. Sorry. Nihongo hanasemasu ka? She speaks Japanese. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray? Oh, balloons! Balloons! I don't know how, but we got balloons. That's absurd. Balloons. I don't know. I think this is canon now. There's balloons. Yeah, really? So, do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No, this can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know. The character's justice as well, you think? Well, that'd be something, wouldn't it? Exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. Le de bleu, la bleu, le bleu Jim Jams. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying.
A handbag, you say?
Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. Nothing, my butt. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already.
Indeed. The lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. I am not a fan of this judge. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Okay, what else? What about this other picture? I mean, isn't it weird? So, it's also weird that the stake is here when he was sitting here, right? That is weird. But how do can I present this as well? I can't present this now, can I? Yes, you're right. You're right. So, she took the glass away in a handbag. If there's deeper significance... Is there deeper meaning in the glass or the handbag? Ah! I know! The handbag! Because she could have had a gun in there! There we go. She lied before. Lying! Lying! She said she has no pockets. She's lying. Yeah, I got you now. Reading her rights. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlemen carry handbags for small items. Lying liars. We don't like lying liars. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brest stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Ha ha! Gotcha! But what she forgot to mention was her handbag. Shifty eyes. In which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. Yeah.
You're right! Ha ha!
Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. There we go. Yeah, you sweat. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No!
Order! Order! Order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Professor Ouchie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. Well, I say that again. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. Hey, Pink Piano, this isn't the first time I played it. That's right, but I don't remember. I don't remember specifics. I remember like general things, but I haven't played it all the way through. I think so. So we'll get to somewhere eventually, which I haven't played before. This photographic print. Oh, so we got a photographic print with the glass in there. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the receipt. For example, I remember something here now that I see in this picture, right? That is relevant. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag.
Well, I never. You can see right through what's inside.
That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment.
So the contents are clearly visible.
Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. God, he's a bit dramatic, isn't he?
Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once.
Okay, certainly, Your Excellency. Right, we've got a new photo. Okay. We getting there. Drama. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine witness counsel. No, I didn't. I'm not done yet.
The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted in the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied there's no longer any room for doubt. And I must... No! You can't do that.
Indeed. And there's only one logical conclusion. I don't agree with that. What? I still have something to say, don't I? We're not done yet. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Yonosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? Wait, have I lost? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. What? You were wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. kind of lost now, can I? The fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance of turning this trial around? You're the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph that they produced that we can contest, which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Wait, can I not, like, present more? Examine? Wait, I gotta examine this or something, right? What about this? I know that I cannot lose. I can't present anything right now. Wait, I'm confused. I can't be losing now, can I? That smug little...
Yes!
Oh, okay. We got something going on. Thank you. I got really panicky for the moment there. I thought I was losing. Wait! Your Excellency. Ryunosuke. I don't think you can rule on this case yet. Shut up. This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom. I think if I slam my desk firmly, then the microphone will get it. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question. Objection! This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman is carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence. You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. Don't worry, Kazuma. Got things up my sleeve. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. Okay, however, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Ha! My thoughts exactly. Oh, I forgot to get a fan. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I'm unsatisfied... Oh, gosh. That's really threatening with his hammer like that. He's gonna beat with that. The trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? I don't think you should be threatening to gavel the people in the courtroom, right? Yes, Your Excellency. So take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. It's right here! This! Look at this, here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description. Objection! Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist. Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent latest handbag. Oh no, not the handbag. Piff, pish, posh! Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner has also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he did not notice in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this. Oh, did we have balloons? I missed the balloons. Where are the balloons? Is this how they happen? What? No, I don't know. Whee! They'll return. Balloons shall return.
However, as Prosecutor Alchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, so, Jim Jams.
Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. God. Imagine that. You're in court and you just go like, peace sign. Peace! I did it! But did it last time? Does it only come in this area? I thought it came on the whole screen last time. Did it not? Curious. Curious. Maybe if I do it here? No, this one isn't even open. It doesn't always work. I don't know. I'm confused. The mystery of the balloons. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Maybe a cooldown. Clever.
Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? You believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes. You're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed. I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture.
But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then would you allow it?
I would, yes.
To tell you the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means.
So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court.
The evidence that demonstrates an in between the victim's burn and this trial. Yeah, I know. Wait, is it on here? It's here, isn't it? See? Wait, oh, wait, how do I do that? Is it on here as well? No, it's not on here. But it's here. Oh, wait, wait, how do I do this? I just present. I present this. Yes! I'm gaming! I mean, I do remember it a bit, I guess. You know, this has come back to me now. So, I'm sorry if this feels like cheating. But also, it means I can get back into the story, right? Like, if I were to start at, like, whatever later chapter, then I've got, like, a lot of what happened before. And it's better to play it through this way.
What's this, Counsel? Yet another print?
Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. I will be an influencer one day. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable.
Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett. Jim Jams? You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore.
What?
How? Why is he keeping objectioning? You don't even know what's going on.
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy, if that's your game. Then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean.
What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Well, I'll show you. Exactly here. This. The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Your Excellency, are you all right? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. This emblem on the plate and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Dionyska, you genius!
You're spot on.
Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. Genius.
Objection! But even if that's the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened on some other unrelated time.
Well,
Objection!
sadly, Prosecutor Auchi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But...
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds.
It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then.
I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of Le Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
Yes! There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain! It's obvious, there's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Hosonaga, I've never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before. That's right, and the strange thing is, when the day was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day,
That would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel.
then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Auchi?
Yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream?
Yep, he's making good points, doesn't he?
I almost didn't believe it. Leonoska, do you think? Can it really be true? I never dreamed we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. Boom! No man could remain silent with his wrist while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation.
Counsel, are you suggesting?
Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Dead?
Jim Jams. Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. Madness!
Order! 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 Please, counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous boy with a rookie lizard, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection. No, Prosecutor Ouchie.
It is you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon. As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Jim Jams.
Incredible! I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But Your Excellency...
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass a just judgment.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Jim Jams. Huh? What was that smile? Well, yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help, especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country, after all.
But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
Jim Jam speaks Japanese. My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. Debatable. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your
Vulgar tones? I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but I'm not appreciating your racial undertones here. Anyway, as much as possible. A little bit imperial superiority right there in it. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. Well, you can just piss off. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. I do not like this woman. I do not like her very much. I do not like her much at all, and she can just disappear. Well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. This lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson.
So, we're finally going to hear their own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Interesting indeed. I feel like there's a what is it called again? A limerick in there, something. I do not like her much at all. She could just go and run into a wall, or something like that. The victim's death. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please, do show me. I do not like her, Sam. I do not like green eggs and ham. That's what I'm saying. Very, very. I don't know how that relates to her, but is that from Green Eggs and Ham? That's the what's the writer? The BFG writer? Is that from that? Dr. Seuss. There we go. That's what I meant. Anyway, but of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. She had such a fun name, Jim Jams, and now.
That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you.
He's a little biased too, isn't he? Jeez. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. You wish you could. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. You are just a suck-up. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. And she crawl back out of her, behind. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice. May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Jim Jams. Thanks, I guess. Was that a prayer then? Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with the cross-examination now. Yeah, Giselle. More like... No, I can't come up with a good burn right now. I expect you have noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much, huh? Yeah, exactly. What are you gonna do about it, huh? Giselle, whatever.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear?
All right. Let's get it. Let's get it, Ryunosuke. We can do this. Yes, Your Excellency. I am ready.
Then you may proceed with the cross-examination.
Okay. Giselle. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. Okay, fine, I'll leave that stand there. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. Okay. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Okay, I didn't immediately feel anything off with that. Wait, did I have... What else do I have here? Okay, we have had this. So in my... I don't know if I'm stupid, but I still think it's weird that the stake is like in front of... Why is he facing the other way? That doesn't make sense, does it? Like he was shot in the front when he's turned around, and the stake is in front of him. Why is the stake in front of him? That doesn't make sense. Because she was eating the steak, right? Doesn't make... I don't... Okay, I'm gonna press her on the steak stuff then. She can speak Japanese brilliant, but she doesn't want to say very much. The more she says, the more she's likely to give away. This Englishwoman knows that only too well. She's quite formidable. Dr. Wilson Spurn tells us something. I'm sure I need to use this crossing then to find out what. I'm going to press on everything she said and try to make her blurt something out. Alright, just gonna press her. We're gonna need to press the shit out of her. What is it, Kazuma? What are you thinking? Oh. Don't worry, it's nothing. Come on, share your thoughts with us, Kazuma. I have no idea. Okay, let's just press. You have no idea? But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. And he also didn't eat it. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? What fun! Ugh. You hadn't realized. The dear lady is absolutely right. As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, dear Nosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Damn. That's just mean. Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can. Well, I can't. Anyway, when the waiter brought my steak... See, this is weird, because the steak is in front of the other guy. It's in front of Dr. Wilson, right? As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of others in the courtroom, it means, bless you. It doesn't. She's lying. I think it means the exact opposite. Exactly. He studies English. He knows, right? Anyway. Ooh, someone has a crush on Hosonaga. He's also pretty handsome, to be fair. He's got some other salt and pepper going on, doesn't he? As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot.
Yes!
Although I'm not a fan of Hosonaga's basically, you know, like, scheming to get our boy Ryunosuke into prison. That's not fine. That's not okay. I don't like that. It's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Oh. Some fireworks going on here, apparently. Yes.
Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death,
They're celebrating Jim Jams. Woo! Jim Jam's downfall. That's right. That's right.
it can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life.
But it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense.
The burn must have happened straight away, when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter.
Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that.
And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point. And yet, the fact that is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Until you're able to show the court evidence to disprove that, this is a complete waste of time.
I concur. Prosecutor Alchi is right.
Jim Jams.
Wait, is there something on the man? It was caused by loss of blood. Pectoral, ballistic, single bullet, fired at close and no exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Okay. We're gonna figure this out. Wait, this was this one. What else? Hold on, could you... No, what is the... What does it say in here? If it's clear... distraction with the use of anesthesia. So he had a tooth out. Yes, something just before I went into the woods and had a decayed tooth removed. They used laughing gas, so you don't inhale when you're... Yes. I've heard people talking... So, could it... I gotta be honest, I don't remember exactly. Because obviously I solved this before, but I don't remember this. No food or drink other than the waiter... Water. Oh, he had the anesthesia! Could it still be that he was under anesthetic or something? But then it means he wouldn't have been dead. He would just not feel it as much. Okay, well, did I just pressed on this, right?
Yes!
Did I already press on this? Without leaving a trace, someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from height. However a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body.
Quite right, dear lady. And as a police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosanaga?
As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces with all those causes of death. That's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark.
If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone exactly how you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. God. On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Aochi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions.
A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. Okay, they wouldn't pick up on it. I do not need to press. I'm pressing because I don't know. In the lands of the Great Issue, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, investigate once, and that's the end of it. Is that so? Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction... Oh. Wait. What's happening with him? He's got something to say. He's dying. It doesn't even occur to your native detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about it as I can, you understand? Killer blow! The lady is as formidable as she's beautiful. Oh, he wants to get with her, isn't he? Jeez, ouchie. Come on, keep it in your pants, yeah? Jeez. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. It's going terribly. No matter how much I press it, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. Exactly, Hosonaga, thank you! About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. God, it's so slow. They're not getting as quick as me, right? The detective. Because I'm a good brain person. Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present an opening, maybe. So professional. I know exactly what I'm doing, right? Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on the last statement one more time, if you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself. Let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press her on the last statement again. Okay. Now I just have to remember which one the last statement was. Raise the glass to the toes. There's some other way. It wasn't this one, right? There's one more. But of course, this is the last one. Press.
Yes!
Yeah. Inferior? What do you mean by that? Okay, we did all this, right? You invest in once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. Exactly. So how do I press him then? How do I press him? Yes! There it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Don't you love how how like he's giving like these instructions for the game, but it's totally in the voice of Kazuma. But by moving the marker left and right, because you're always in a courtroom with the controller, right? That's how it works. But by moving the marker left and right with left and right, you can turn your attention to the other people in the stand. And that's exactly how it works in a court. While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with A. Okay. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover something new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. All right then. So first, I should move the marker across with left or right. And then focus on the detective. Then pursue him with A and see what's on his mind. Here we go! Exactly. Which means? There we go, right? Wait, have I moved it to the right? There we go, to the right.
Excuse me.
And pursue. Oh, that excuse me was mine, wasn't it? Excuse me! Excuse me! I think this is the first excuse me we've heard, isn't it? Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
Objection!
Objection! What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over. Immediately. Oh, is that how it works?
Absolutely not.
Uh?
The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness.
Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case.
Inspector Hosonaga,
Yes.
do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by this bread?
Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I am not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago, but it was decarbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle, I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it.
I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence.
Carbonated bottle has been entered in the court record. Excellent. I think we've got new evidence now. And it is 7 o'clock. And what you need to know about me is I'm an incredibly punctual human being. And I like to start and end things exactly how I planned. And I think so. This is an excellent place to stop, and we're going to continue with the bottle investigation next time. Punctual, punctual. That's how I roll. You know, I'm punctual as an actor. You have to be very punctual. You know, this is incredibly important because you know when you're doing voiceovers, also when you go over, you get paid for another hour. You know, so you gotta be on time always. That's what I do. That's how I roll. You know. But this is incredibly exciting. I'm actually also really happy that I genuinely do not remember exactly what has happened. I think I remember like general parts of the story, but I only like sometimes here and there remember how to solve it. So yeah, no, I think that's really fun. I'm really enjoying this. So this new thing, second stream. Thank you so much for coming to the second stream. I just realized I didn't actually. Was I not supposed to write stream information and stuff like that? Did I? Oh, I just put the same stream information. Yeah, I thought I maybe should have changed that to something. Anyway, I'll figure that out next time. But yeah, thanks so much for coming. I'm still figuring out how to do it all with playing the game and sometimes looking at the chat and stuff, but not because I mean you guys have been so great and like doing all the comments and everything and but I'm still working out how to do that. Thanks so much for my amazing mods also. You guys are the best and I really, really appreciate your help. And yeah. And I'll the next one for now I think I've got scheduled for Thursday. So hopefully nothing will come in the way of that. So yeah. Thank you so much. And I can do a very cool fade out probably or something like that, right? Because that's what pros do, and I'm a pro, right? So maybe we'll go like big again. Whoa, just one more time big, and then we go. Oh, I'm leaving. I'm fading. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye.